Don't get used to our grief. In an interview for CNN, the First Lady of Ukraine, Elena Zelenska, urged people to see and hear the crimes committed by Russians in Ukraine. The victims of the Russian occupiers should not become statistics of the world. Everyone from any corner of the globe will soon be able to see the consequences of Russian aggression with their own eyes. Panoramic photos with burned earth and destroyed buildings will be put on Google Maps, the world's most popular service for phones. What exactly will people see when they Google the Kiev region? And will there be citizens of the Russian Federation among them?
There are 0 military facilities in the village of Makariv in the Kiev region. Now there are 200 destroyed houses and 600 mutilated by shells. The death toll continues to count. Now there are 24 of them. Bodies continue to be found in fields and forest strips. This is the centre square of Makariv village, which Google Maps show today. But in the near future, the world will see a new variant. Google specialists, together with Ukrainian law enforcement officers, will record every piece of Ukrainian land visited by the Russian world.
We will make these images as public as possible, so everyone could see them. It remained forever and was not lost anywhere. In addition, these images will be used by investigative units and the expert service to assess the amount of damage.
Instead of village alleys, houses and gardens, Google will show on its maps burned earth, smashed cars and pits of mass graves. It is impossible to trace any military strategy here. To understand the logic of the attack, locals say Russian troops fired on every house, targeting every Ukrainian.
I can't explain what's in the minds of these fools. I think they fired at random.
There is its own tragedy. Behind each ashes and destruction, law enforcement officers retell them in the language of police reports.
A woman, born 1970, and her son died from shrapnel wounds during a street shelling. Her husband, the father of the deceased child, was here behind the house. After the death of his family, the man joined the armed forces of Ukraine.
Neighbours buried the bodies of the mother and son in the backyard. Sappers combed every square metre of land before the exhumation. According to the UN, Ukraine today is one of the most mined areas of the world. Every day, sappers find mines in people's backyards, inside looted houses and near the bodies of the dead. Ammunition stacked in a row is a common picture near rural fence, riddled with shots. In Makariv were found more than 1,000 shells. We pay close attention to the inspection of power lines to restore electricity. More than 50 kilometres of power lines have been inspected at this area. After demining completely burned areas of Kiev region will hit Google Maps in the near future. By this time, hundreds of international journalists had already told in their countries about the atrocities of Russians in Ukraine. Here are the images that Google shows if you search for the word Bucha, and these are the results of the same search, but in the Russian service, Yandev, Emma Antonyuk.